Hello, Dane Brooks. This video presentation is for EDU 528, Week 7, the final budget assignment. For this particular assignment, we were given $100,000 overall for athletic budget. We were set to allot $32,000 aside for officiating cost, which left us $68,000 to cover uniforms, equipment, and any other needs for all the other sports programs. The first thing I did was look at officials' cost. Like I said, we were given $32,000 set aside for officials' cost. We had basically 15 sports that we had to cover. What I did for the sports that we have here at Salisbury, I just used what we pay for our officials' pay and officials' pay scale. For sports that we don't have, like lacrosse, field hockey, soccer, volleyball, stuff like that, I looked around and tried to find kind of the average of what high school officials make for those sports, and I just used those. For baseball, these are in alphabetical order by sport. For baseball, for here at Salisbury, we do $120. You need 2 officials, obviously. Figure about 11 home games a season. Comes out to about $2,640, $2,640. For basketball, I combine boys and girls for that because we play them together here. So I put them both together. We do $180 for a 3-game night, which usually throws in a JV game with 2 varsity games. We usually have about 8 of those. All of our conference games are like that. So you're looking at 3 officials for a night on that. Comes out to about $4,320 for an entire season. JV, if we're just doing JV, it's $115. For 2 officials instead of 3, we usually have 6 of those where it's no varsity included. So that's $1,380 there for basketball combined with the varsity and JV. Field hockey, $110 for 2 officials. Figure 9 games usually for a home season. Comes out just a little under $2,000 with $1,980. Football, kind of another big expense, kind of like basketball. $120 per game or per official. We use 5 officials. We have 5 home games, so that comes right at $3,000. And then if you do 4 JV games at $110 for 4 officials, figure around $1,760. Same thing, same price for lacrosse. $110 for 2 officials, 8 games. Over here, soccer, $100. Use 3 officials on that usually. Your two side judges and your center judge. 14 home game season on a soccer schedule. Around $4,200. For softball, obviously 2 officials, $110 each. 10 home games, $2,200 for softball on a season. Track's a little different. You can sometimes you can use teachers or sponsors to help out. For your big track meets, you usually want to have 4 certified track officials, your starter, and then your other lane judges. So they do $130 for 4. Usually, if you have 2 track meets, a boys track meet and a girls track meet, or 2 home meets, we don't have very many home meets here at Salisbury. 3, it'd be around $1,000 or so. Volleyball, you need 2 officials, your regular judge and your assistant judge, or your regular official and your assistant official. $95 for both. 16 home games in a volleyball season, so that comes out to about $3,040. And wrestling, we don't have wrestling here. A lot of the schools in our conference do. They usually host tri-meets or quads, and they'll have 2 mats going at the same time. So I figured 2 officials for those, $120 a piece for each official, and maybe 5 matches or 5 meets, home meets in a season. So that comes out to $1,100 altogether for your season totals for these sports. Came out with $28,420. Again, we had $32,000 to start with, so that actually leaves me with $3,580 below budget left for something else. Next, we're going to look at the sports programs breakdown. We had 15 sports to use. We had wish lists for certain ones. Other ones we kind of had to make up on our own as we went along. Our wish lists were supposed to be prioritized. What I did is I went and looked at the wish lists of my other classmates, kind of looked at them to see. First, I prioritized them by want. Then I kind of prioritized them by price. Again, like I said, we have $68,000 we're working in within the budget for all 15 sports, which can get kind of hairy at times, with obviously with some sports being more expensive, like a la football, and others not being so cost heavy, like track or cheerleading, stuff like that. Football can go a long way to break a budget, so that was the kind of the tricky one. When we get to that in a minute, I'll talk about it. Again, they're in alphabetical order by sport, no particular order. The items are the order that I purchased them in, and so kind of in my priority. If my classmate had that priority, I kind of went with it. If it was a sport that we didn't have, I put them, kind of ranked them by what I thought was priority. First was baseball. Obviously, if it's that year for uniform rotations, you're going to look at this kind of cost. If you're not uniform rotation year, you're obviously not going to have to worry so much about these, and you can spend your money elsewhere. I went as if it was a uniform rotation year for most of these. So a lot of these sports are going to have uniforms up at the priority, and then the equipment coming down after that. Put Nike tops, generic Nike tops, $45 for 20 of them. They get $900. Pants, same price, $900. Game caps, 20 for 20, $400. And then I prioritized game balls. Those are required. You have to have so many per game. There's $69.90 or $69.99 for a dozen. So I got $62.99 for that price. I got two. I prioritized and budgeted for two baseball bats at $199.95 a piece. So around $400 for those two bats, and then 5 batters helmets at $50 a piece for 5. So around $250 for those. All in all, with the top 5, with these 6 items here, the budget for baseball was $2,913. For boys basketball, we did home and away tops at the same time. Baseball, you're looking at one jersey you can wear for home and away games. Basketball, other sports, not the same. Did home and away tops at $90 a piece. Got 30 of them, 15 home, 15 away, $2,700. Same thing for shorts, home and away, 15 a piece. So 30 of those times $45 for $1,350. Basketballs. Here at Salisbury, we usually get 10 or 15 every year. Every couple of years, rotate them out. We like to have enough to where each player, ideally, if for a varsity game or varsity practice, each player can have a ball if you're doing a certain drill. So I ordered 15 basketballs at $70 a piece, so that's $1,049. Then I looked at warm-up tops, 60 a piece, 15, obviously just for varsity, $900, and then reversible practice tops that we could use. Usually you want to buy those for the varsity, same as your jerseys, and then pass your varsity jerseys down to your JV. So we got $45, get 25 of those for $1,125 for a total price of $7,125 for boys basketball. Girls basketball, again, home and away jerseys, you're going to need both. This was one of the lists that we had from my classmates, so I just used theirs, used their list, used their prices. 50 at $94.25, so $4,712 just for your home and away jerseys. So this is a set, top and bottoms combined. Mine was opposite. Mine was just the tops at one price, shorts another. This was all one set all together. Again, basketballs. They wanted the classic basketballs for practice. 10 of those, where I got 15, at the same price, $70. You're looking at around $700 for those. Then they wanted 3 game balls to use specifically for games, not practice. Those are around $50 a piece for 3, around $150 for your price on there. And then a shoot-away gun. I chose to go with the shoot-away gun over shoes because, a lot of times, the kids are going to want to wear their own shoes anyway. We haven't really pushed team shoes here. Not many schools do much anymore. But I figured they get a lot more use out of the shoot-away for both squads, basketball, boys and girls, than team shoes. So it's $2,500 for one of those. So you're looking at a $2,500 expense there for a total of $8,062 for girls basketball. Sorry. Cheerleading. This was not a list. This is one I had to come up with on my own. Obviously, tops, if it's in rotation for a uniform year. For tops, $18 a piece. Got 15 of them. Not very sure how many girls are going to use on this cheerleading squad. $270 for uniform tops. $247 for the bottoms. Got pom-poms, 30 of those, 2 a piece for each girl. $240 for those at $8 a piece. Shoes, I kind of went with shoes here as I wouldn't go with any other sport, obviously, because more often than not their uniforms are going to have to match with their shoes, so they all get those. $20 a piece times 15, so at $299 there. And then travel bags I threw in for the cheerleading squad. We have $284, which makes the total cheerleading budget $1,342 for cheerleading. Next, field hockey. Again, sport I'm not familiar with. Nope, did not have a wish list from a classmate on this one, so kind of threw this one together. Again, uniform tops if it's a uniform year. Uniform tops, $468. Uniform shorts to go with it, $228 for 12 apiece. Sticks, providing the sticks for everybody for field hockey. That's your big expense. Is your equipment for sticks and goggles, which we'll get to in just a second. The sticks are $89.95 a piece for around just a little over $1,000 on that, $1,080. Game balls are $69.99 for a box, one of those, and then the goggles. If you provide the goggles for everybody, just like you would a football helmet, $49.99 if you have 15 of them for $750. That makes the overall budget for field hockey $2,595. Football. This was a sport that had a wish list from one of my classmates. Just in uniforms alone was going to take the entire $68,000 that we were given for a budget. So had to make some decisions there. What I did, he was asking for around 100, 110 of everything. Obviously, at a school our size, we've never had 110 guys on a football team. We're lucky to have 40 guys every year. So what I did is I took his numbers for his equipment, and I used the exact same prices, but I cut them down to fit our school. If it was going to be something that we could, like his school, that we're looking for 110, to maybe do it on a rotation, 40 this year, 40 this year, 40 this year, and kind of cycle them through. The helmets, obviously, with safety, it comes at a price, and with football, it's got that extra cost of having to get these things reconditioned every year. So it's an additional cost that other sports don't have. The shut helmets, $300 per helmet, 40 helmets, $12,000 just in helmets. The shoulder pads, $209 for 40, $8,360 for the shoulder pads. Game balls, usually schools provide 2 for each game or 1 for every other game at almost $80 a piece, 15 games, $1,199 for that. And the thigh pads, the hip and thigh pads or girdles are $19. Again, 40 of those instead of the 110, so we can kind of rotate through those each year. $760. The overall budget for football was $22,319, so almost a quarter of our budget there, almost a third of our budget there, just for football. Okay, and again, I did not put uniforms in for this particular one. Lacrosse, uniform tops, uniform bottoms, $384 for tops, $300 for the kilts on the bottom, or the bottoms. This again, sticks, just like field hockey, providing those. $52, 12 of them, $624 there. A 5 dozen bucket of balls for the season and for practice and games is $137.99. And then helmets, just like we had the goggles for the goggles being a high price for field hockey. Helmets is obviously a high price for football, for everything, lacrosse. $199, $200 a piece there almost for 15 of them. There's a little over $3,000 for the helmets, which makes the total $4,446, with most of that going towards helmets. Soccer, boys and girls soccer is the same. You'll see that on the next slide. Tops and bottoms, $20 for the tops, $18 for the bottoms, $480 for tops, $432 for the shorts. Balls, $17.99. $179.90 for that, and then the shin guards, $13 a piece, $14 a piece, $335.76 for that. Grand total $1,428 for boys soccer. Like I said, girls soccer I did the same thing with. They didn't have a wish list for either one of these, so kind of using the same jerseys, same tops, bottoms, same balls, same shin pads, everything. So that everything's the same for them with the same price of $14.28. Track did the same thing for track as I did for soccer, boys and girls. The only price difference is on the shot puts because size. So the girls is not as expensive. Sorry. Same tops, same bottoms for girls and boys, which you'll see on the next slide. $600 a piece for the tops and bottoms. $63.98 for 2 men's shot puts at $32 a piece. $121 for 2 discus at $60 a piece. And then the relay batons that you need for your relay meets at $7 a piece. So we're looking at $14 for that. All in all, for boys track is $1,400. As I mentioned, I did the same jerseys for both boys and girls tracks, so you're looking at $1,200 for those two combined, just like the boys. The shot put and the discus are a little cheaper for girls than they are boys, just by weight. So you're saving a little money there. Relay batons are the same. So where the boys was $1,400, girls track budget is around $1,348 or $1,384. Sorry. Boys volleyball did not have a wish list for this one. Went with what I thought was priorities for boys volleyball. Jersey tops and shorts. $438 for $435 for the tops. $405 for the shorts. Practice balls. $28 a piece. $438 for 15 of them. Game balls are a little more expensive, looking at $49 a piece for 5 of those. So $244.95 for game balls. Knee pads, Nike knee pads, $21.99 for 15. $329 for those. And then for volleyball, again, I threw in shoes. Again, shoes probably not a priority. Schools don't necessarily need to provide the shoes, as most kids are going to wear their own anyway. But for boys volleyball, I threw in the shoes, matching shoes, at $140 a piece for 15 for $2,000, $2,099. So the biggest chunk of the budget going to shoes. If we wanted to save money somewhere, I would get rid of shoes off of that one. But your total budget still with that is $3,950. Girls volleyball was one of the wish lists we had from one of my classmates. So again, used his priorities, his priority for wish list. His prices, same everything. The cap sleeve tops, $53.95. He ordered 12 of them. $647. Shorts, 12 of them for $22.05. $264.60 there. Balls, 48 balls for $1,431. 3 racks, $346. Knee pads for $107, and warm-up tops for $251. with the grand total for that is $3,048 for the wish list for girls volleyball. Last sport, wrestling. Again, not something I'm familiar with. Went with the wish list from a classmate. The singlets, the wrestling singlets, 45 of them for $22 a piece. $990 for the uniforms, for the jerseys. The headgear that they're required to wear, $30 a piece at 45 of them, $1,349. Mat cleaner and mat tape, obviously a high priority for things especially happening right now. $37 for the mat cleaner times 12, $443. The mat tape at almost $6 times 24 of those, 24 rolls, $140. And then the cleaning mops at $205, and that included I think 2 mops and 4 mop heads. And last, the scorebook at $8. The very last sport, kind of out of order. Softball. Softball is not a very, depending on how you look at it, depending on where you go, a very high priced sport. A lot of the girls provide their own stuff. So this was a wish list based off a classmate. Everything was very cheap, relatively cheap. So this is why this one took up 2 slides, because it got more stuff, more bang for a buck. Game balls, $7 a piece times 24, $168 for game balls, $162 for 2 equipment bags, $204 for practice balls, $300 for the bases that you needed. The double first base with the orange and white first base was $168. 2 ball bags for all the balls for games is $56. The catcher's bag for all the catcher's equipment is $74 for 2. Pitching machine balls for practice, $84. Batting tees, 3 of them for $36. A scorebook for the season for $16.50, and $7.50 for the lineup card. On this wish list, she also had diamond dry, turf, stuff like that. I didn't put it on there because personally, I didn't feel like that should come out of the softball budget. I thought that should come out of the maintenance budget, and the school should pay for that on its own anyway, and not have to have the softball pay for it. Altogether, for everything, the overall budget for each sport, all the way through, bringing it a grand total of $65,781. Again, we had a $68,000 possible, so that leaves us with our officials budget, $32,000. We used $28,420, left us with $3,580 under budget. The program budgets, we had $68,000, spent $65,781, $2,219 under budget, which leaves us with just under $5,800 remaining to spend on any other unforeseen costs or entry fees that may occur.